Tore, yes, absolutely. He's probably the pick of the talent on show today. Exciting. I mean, think of it, the difference between himself and Chris Wood, his basically opposite number. And so, Eden Kunda is a guy who can take players on, has got some real silky skills. Chris Wood is an absolute finisher. So different styles. Let's see who can be the most effective today.
Max Crocombe in goal, Binton and Sermon in central defence. Payne to the right, De Vries to the left, Thomas Belsing, Old Just Wood. 2 changes with Boxall dropping out and Callum McGowan. The Socceroos will kick off running from right to left as we look at it from our commentary position. The All Whites running from left to right, needing to force the issue tonight. They trail by 1-0 after the first leg in Canberra, and we are underway. And a lovely evening in Auckland. That threat of rain has stayed away, and the first turnover by the Australian C, Sarpreet Singh, and just combined. It's chipped out to the right flank, and it's just going to skip off the surface that was heavily watered in the minutes leading up to the two teams arriving. Zips off the field in front of Tim Payne, and there'll be a throw into the Australians' left-hand side of the field.
Yeah, pitch looks really fast, very fast. You can see there straight away the ball, as the players were fizzing the ball across the turf, just picking up a lot of pace off the slippery surface already.
Headed forward by Sermon and towards the path of Sarpreet Singh, can't bring it down. Irakunda's his first touch. Immediately Tim Payne gets very close to him, just takes it off his toe, and he can roll it back to Crocombe at the top of his area. Australia sat very deep in the first game, pushing a little bit higher, at least asking the New Zealand defensive line to pass under duress, sitting a little bit higher up. Also that back line, Brett, was sort of right in front of that penalty area in the early moments in Canberra. Looks like a slight change of approach from Popovic.
Yeah, 5 at the back for Australia. But as you say, I think they're not going to allow New Zealand just to have free rein of the ball in their own half. I think they're going to try and push higher up the park.
With De Vries in the left full-back position, 15 metres shy of the halfway line, up towards Woody, lays it off with his right thigh into the path of Olds, aiming forward, getting across though is Miller. He pushes it out, and in line with the top of the penalty area, left-hand side of the field, there's going to be a throw.
And that'll be one of the key matchups this evening. Ben Old against Lewis Miller. We want to see Ben Old just go at him, especially early on. Just go at him, try and get behind him, and then whip the ball across. Well,
Miller's more likely to get up and down, isn't he, than Rolls on the left-hand side. So he's probably more comfortable as a central defender. Best way to hem a player back is make him defend. Crocombe from 10 yards outside of his area sprays the ball to the right flank. The aforementioned Rolls comes forward, heads up and out over sideline. Rolls now with DC United, of course, and his 26th international for the Australians. One of 5 changes for their lineup tonight. Presses, harries Payne. Payne wins the throw right on the halfway line, goes quickly down the line looking for Sarpreet Singh. And across comes Burgess, wins it and plays it back to Izzo. His first start pass, again error. My lord, his feet are literally for standing on. He had huge problems in Canberra. Great with his hands, 2 fine saves against Chris Wood, but New Zealand need to press him at every opportunity. Sarpreet Singh can't get away from, just in fact can't get away from a challenge, and wins the throw-in. 25 yards out from the for the Australian goal line, right-hand side of the park. 3 gone, no score. Our coverage with Betcher here on Sport Nation.
And there again, territorially, the game's been played in the Australian half of the field. So New Zealand dominating the territory, and again, it's going to be a question of, can you turn that domination into something more, especially early on?
They've inched their way upfield through 3 straight throw-ins, now about 6 or 7 yards from the Australian byline. Vries comes across from the left flank, so long throw, bodies come forward. Izzo's going to have company. Form of Binden's gone to the near post. He's literally standing right on the near post. He takes another step back and he's out of play. Count them, 5 inside the area, 2 hovering at the top. Binden looks to get the flick on. He does, headed away. Now, Ballard gets to the loose ball. In fact, that's Metcalf. Metcalf, though, sees Bell step in midway penalty area halfway. Brings it back into New Zealand's possession. And he'll rotate the ball back into the centre circle, and New Zealand can go again. Old comes back to receive. One touch pass. Finds Sermon. He goes down the right-hand side to Freeze. On the right flank, playing with his right foot, trying to play into the feet diagonally of Sarpreet Singh, but pushed out again over the sideline, this time off a New Zealand player, and 4.5 gone, no change, no score.
I think straight away you can see that with the Australians playing 5 at the back, there's big spaces for New Zealand to exploit for Francis de Vries and Tim Payne. Just in front of their a natural position for a right and left back. There's just a big hole given that the Aussie wide players are sitting so deep. And so I think that's an area where New Zealand can get the ball and get players forward into those spots.
Irakunda has gone down under challenge. It looked like Payne was sort of pulling at the back of his shirt, and he sort of crumpled in a mess on the sideline, writhing in pain. Popovic is not happy, protesting to the official. Australian fans hold their breath. The 19-year-old, an excitement machine now with Watford, of course, but purchased originally a bit like Sarpreet Singh from Bayern Munich out of the A-League.
Yeah, very similar path, hasn't it been? Irakunda with Sarpreet Singh. Big signing to get yourself to Bayern Munich, and then you see how hard it is to crack an absolute top team in Europe. And you head out on loan and you try and make good of that sort of path, trying to get yourself back into the limelight.
Left knee or left half, it looks like, boys. He's good to go, though.
Thanks, Chappie. Do appreciate that. He's now standing. You're right. He's back up and he's going to be okay. Rolls decides to steal about 15 metres for the throw-in. Smart play, veteran play. He'll have another crack as across came Sarpreet Singh and nodded out. I was about to say €3 million splurged by Watford. And he started with a bit of bang there. He's like a set piece. He's got a couple of great free kicks for them. Real battle. We'll see Bell win possession. He tries to loft the ball over the top, but Chris Wood had come short to receive. Not running in behind, so skips off into the hands of Izzo. He can roll it. And Australia can now look to build from the back, where Burgess displays an aimless ball upfield, but Minden's cushioned header slices off his forehead and out into wide open spaces where the Australians win it back, but New Zealand Harry win possession back very quickly. Played down the left wing side by de Vries. I think that's just hooked an Australian player, and indeed it will be a throw to New Zealand right on halfway, left-hand side of the park. No score. That go Medi and Mount Smart, and it remains Australia leading on aggregate by 1-0. Chested down from the throw-in by Woods. Play back to de Vries. He looks to play into the feet of Sarpreet Singh, but neatly positioned. That was Aidan O'Neill, who I thought really made an impact coming off the bench at half-time for Yazbek, I think it was, in the first game. Nice work, beautiful done. Ball played in behind. I think it was Minden who won it. Then slid it in behind the centre-backs. Wood sprinted off after it. Izzo quickly off his line and used his feet well on this occasion. See, I can pay him a compliment.
Really noticeable, though, that Izzo clears the ball and the back five for Australia just stay as a back five. It's not like they're trying to send the wide players like Rolls and Miller. They're not trying to get forward at the moment early in the game. It's just we are going to defend this lead and we'll keep a back five come hell or high water for the first part of this match.
Here's Holden behind the right fullback. Early ball into the penalty spot, just with the left foot right on the apex of the 6-yard box. Cleared away, top of the area, New Zealand. Thomas goes laterally, finds Payne. Just outside that area, he's got Rolls on him. Tries to roll away from him. Almost does so, but the centre back playing at left fullback calmly stayed on his feet and got a left foot in, but that was nice penetrative play from the All Whites.
And an opportunity there for Tim Payne to deliver the ball into the box.
Quickly taken. He's just on the right-hand side with his left foot placed to Bell. Bell gets an early ball in from The edge of the area on the right-hand side, cleared away, and a bit like in Canberra, New Zealand are starting on top. No score, 9 minutes gone. Payne back to Sermon, who's 15 yards inside the Australian half. He slides it to his left to Bindon inside that centre circle. Toure closes him down. Back to Sermon. Bell comes short to receive. Turns, eyes forward, plays it to Payne. Payne quickly closed down, pushing it off Rolls for another throw.
Yeah, I'd love to see possession stats because New Zealand just have had all the ball here. They're just passing the ball around at will, and Australia just sitting in a deep, solid formation, but at the moment just can't get their feet on the ball and can't hold on to any sort of possession and can't get forward.
You ask and you shall receive. For its 67% possession to the New Zealanders for exactly 10 minutes. You're listening to Sport Nation's coverage of the Frequent Soccer Ashes match. Our coverage with Betcher, giving you $100 bonus cash when you deposit 25 or more. Sign up to Betcher today. R18, bet responsibly. Bell in the centre circle, out to the left finds Old. He comes short to receive and looking to dribble. He showed good pace to burst past Miller, but this time prudently just moves it back. They'll pivot, go to the other side of the field. Payne cuts back in field, then rolls it into the feet of Sarpreet Singh on the edge of the area. He drifts out wide and trying to create an angle to get a ball in. Comes back. Roger Just looking to play the ball back post. Woods there. He nods it back across to the 6-yard box. And Ryan Thomas leapt early, got the timing wrong, and the header rather in on goal just basically went up, and Izzo gobbled it up.
Yeah, nice cross from Eli Just, possibly just a little too deep, but worked this. New Zealand did well, worked the space out wide on the right flank, and then opened an opportunity for Just to deliver. Chris Wood wins the header, as you'd expect him to do.
Hold on, Irakunda's lost possession 30 yards out from his own goal. Bell pressured him into the path of Just. The Australians hurry the ball away, but it's ricocheted of Rolls' foot straight back towards Burgess. Burgess knees it back inside his own 6-yard box. Izzo clubs it out. Hardly a short from the Australians. The Inquisition begins as Burgess shouts at his keeper.
Yeah, and this is all because of the pressure that the All Whites are putting on this Australian team. Just the passes, just that little bit misdirected.
Old goes in hard, but slightly collects. Aidan O'Neill, so a free kick midway penalty area halfway for Australia. No score, 12 minutes gone.
Yeah, I think given the conditions and the ball's so slick on the surface, the passing has to be incredibly accurate. And I think at the moment, Aussie are struggling to come to terms with that and cope with New Zealand's pressure at the same time. We see here, Roll just tries to pass the ball down the line, passes the ball straight out. That's due to the pressure from the All Whites.
Bell wins possession, finds Olds. Base of the centre circle, Australian side of halfway, pains a pass, now drives forward. To his left is De Vries. He can take a touch, get a ball in. Chris Wood goes up, headed away. Good, powerful header by Diganag, I think it is. Nicely done as he got up nice and early. He's probably giving, 3 or 4 inches to Chris Wood. But perfect timing from the veteran 31-year-old. Now Australia will win a goal kick. 30 minutes gone, no score.
Tony Popovic there just yelling at his players, boys, saying calm down, slow down. New Zealand are playing very physically early and they're dictating the tempo very much so.
Nice ball out of defence, finds Metcalf. Metcalf can turn, go over the halfway line, drops it back, finding O'Neill. O'Neill back to the right fullback, 5 yards from halfway. Played further down and Metcalf had continued his run, loses possession, then slides in. Actually collects Bindon, but luckily I think it had gone over the sideline first, so a throw-in coming to New Zealand about 6 or 7 yards out from outside their penalty area, left-hand side of the park.
But even there, the Aussies, they just need to hold possession. They just need to keep the ball. And, they're trying to play forward into bad areas, like a ball here. This ball, drifted forward, and, New Zealand will pick up possession again. They just need to keep possession for a while, get a foothold in the game, because at the moment, they're not.
Izzo's out of his area to collect a long ball from De Vries, but he slices his clearance up and away. header contested between Ryan Thomas and that's Miller, and there'll be a throw in to the Australians 5 yards from halfway. No coverage with Betcha, New Zealand's #1 app for football betting now with a range of new markets like cards, corners, and score combos. R18 bet responsibly. Daniel McCarty, Alex Chapman, and on All White Fred Diong providing commentary tonight on Sport Nation. 14.5 gone. Back to Izzo. He's going to spray a diagonal out to the right wing side, right on halfway to Freeze. Gets the first touch on in front of Miller. Old stepping in to help out. Tries to back heel through the legs, but Miller's done well. Gets past Old, can't get past to Freeze. Ball ricochets back out into the left full-back position. On the New Zealand side of halfway, Binden's across to collect once more. 75% possession. About 2 or 3 minutes ago, Fred. 2 shots, 1 on target. Australia just really struggling to get any rhythm with their passing game.
Yeah, now trying to maintain a bit of possession, trying to draw New Zealand forward. The midfield of Australia just, I think, getting overrun by the fluidity of the New Zealand players.
Nice.
But again, when you've got this sort of domination, what do you need? You need to make it pay. You need to score a goal. Otherwise, yeah, it looks great, it's exciting, but ultimately it's not productive enough.
Throw into the feet of Irukunda, top of the area. Snapshot on the turn. And he drags it out to the left-hand side. Might actually go out. Indeed has gone out. A throw to New Zealand, like half a yard from that corner flag, where Tim Payne, the right fullback, will take. Starting to see a couple of positive moments. Metcalf drifting into some pockets of space between the lines. But I guess that's one of the downside if your wing backs, Fred, as New Zealand will win a free kick, are getting pushed back so much. There's not many options when you push the ball forward. You're down a man in comparison to the New Zealand formation.
Well, I don't even think that they're being pushed back, the wing backs. I think that's their natural starting position in the system, where you've got, you know, this line of 5 across the back for Australia. You know, in essence, it's a 5-3-2 with Toure and Irukunda up top.
Nodded down by Chris Woods. The top of the penalty area. No one being brave and running with them. Cushioned it down naturally, but the Australians away with it. Here's Toure running hard from in to out to the right wing channel. He's going to beat Sermon, who's come across with them to Freeze back. Lovely ball into the feet of Metcalf. Danger signs then. Lovely vision from Toure, and about 8 yards out on a 45-degree angle. Metcalf took a touch and shot, and it's out for the first corner of the evening.
Yeah, first glimpse there of the real pace of Toure. You know, he's got too much gas for Binden and Sermon, and so there is a danger that Australia do pose.
Left-footed in-swinger from the right flank. What's the delivery like? Pretty good into the 6-yard box, right on that line, but headed away and then volleyed away by Bell up towards the halfway line, where Higanek has possession. Stands on the ball, looks poor, but rolls it to Chikati.
Yeah, interesting formation there for New Zealand as they were defending that corner. Elijah Just and Ben Old were standing on halfway, but right on the sidelines. So one on either side. So expecting, I think, to launch a counter-attack. So if the ball had been won by New Zealand, then the place to plant the ball would be, you know, high and wide up to one of those two players.
Sarpreet Singh, lovely turn in the middle of the park, gets away from his man, creates a bit of space, then chipped ball looking for Old, headed down and away by Australia. New Zealand pick up the loose ball, but Thomas not for the first time in the opening 18.5 minutes. A little bit sloppy with this pass. Concedes possession back to the Australians. It remains 0-0 on the night. Australia are up by 1 on aggregate, and that's very untidy as Higanek tries to find Burgess. He can start the inquisition again, the Australian back line. Just shrugging his shoulders and, what are you doing, boy? Poor pass. New Zealand have a throw, and it's back with Binden in the centre circle.
for the first time this evening as well, boys. Change in the mark in Australia, now $3.20, New Zealand $3, the draw's $2.50. In-game live betting with Betcha, R18, bet responsibly.
Right wing side, the ball's pinged out to Payne, does well to chest it down, but Rolls just waited nicely, nipped it off his toe, and then skins one just at Oz, launches it up towards Toure, but he's just hooked it away. Would have been dangerous as he got the ball in behind, but with the pace, speaking of pace, Old goes forward quickly. Back inside to Sarpreet Singh, 30 yards from goal, feigns the cross, then tries to dribble through 1-2. Can't get through a third, but he's won a free kick, has he? Or has Sarpreet Singh gone over the ball and actually taken the Australian player? I think that is the case. First yellow card, and it will be Sarpreet Singh. Just a little bit reckless, according to the referee.
Yeah, he got bumped in the first challenge, and I think that's put him off, and he's gone hard in onto the third defender that was trying to stop him. I think earns himself the first yellow ticket of the evening.
It's an attacker's challenge, isn't it, Fred?
He's gone, bugger you.
Oh, I've lost it there. I'll reach out, and it's just gone over.
Normally I get away with these. Whack. Not this time.
You wouldn't say that was malicious. Just ill-timed.
Clumsy.
20 minutes on, no score between New Zealand and Australia. Toure beaten to it by Bindon, heads the ball forward, but it's going to be cushioned down and Australia can come again. You just sense that starting to get into their work, the Australians, over the last 5 or so minutes.
I still think they have trouble playing out. They easy to go wide, but having difficulty playing through the middle of the park. New Zealand seem to throttle that part of the field up quite nicely.
Back to Croker, 5 yards outside this area. Right, orange strip. Keeper sends it long, diagonal. Pushing down nicely by the left-sided stopper Burgess. Gives it back to Izzo. Izzo upfield, nodded on by Rolls. Irakunda 1-on-1. Now 2-on-1 as Bell comes across. Irakunda just loses his footing somewhat. He's an energetic individual. He lets you know how he feels when things don't go his way as he sort of curses towards the grass.
Yeah, but Toure didn't help him there. He was offside the whole time in that move. Irakunda just wanted to play it down the line for him, but he looks and he sees, mate, you're like 2 meters offside. So I can't. So now I have to try and beat 2 players. And again, we see Izzo. I don't know, mate. Take your boots out of the box, because every time you pass, the ball goes somewhere where you don't want it to go.
It's quite remarkable.
It's incredible.
It's quite incredible. It must be in his head at the moment.
The wind's not that strong, boys. It's nothing to do with the wind whatsoever, but the way that ball is back spinning, you'd think that we're playing in Wellington.
That is true. They were playing in Canberra. It was a chilly night in Canberra. It wasn't all that windy, and he battled there. But he had the best retort. I made 2 brilliant saves. And he did against Chris Wood. He stood up when needed to. And of course, we know who the Australian number 1 is. That's Matty Ryan, who's just joined Levante and been given a break. Acclimated to his 14th club. Gee, what a story. Matty Ryan, he's the number 1. The fight on for who's deputy. Izzo getting back-to-back games tells you the 30-year-old who's now in Denmark, I think, and only recently back from a hip injury. There's maybe a grasp of that. Free kick awarded to the Australians, 5 metres inside the New Zealand half, 3 yards, 4 yards in from the left-hand sideline. They play it short. Rolls, certainly not as athletic as Boss.
No.
In that left wing back position as we saw in game number 1. Jeez, Australia got a feud with him, haven't they?
He's a good player. Pick Feyenoord now. That's a good big club in the Netherlands. So if he can play regularly at Feyenoord level, then you are doing something quite special.
The Cave rocks generally most days, but it'll be rocking at the sight of him charging up and down the left-hand side. Now 30 yards from goal, stepping up Chikati, plays into the feet of Metcalf, back to O'Neill, sort of sitting deep in that central midfield position, plays it to Miller. Miller's going to come back to Metcalf. He's got Bell on him, out towards Chikati once more. No, that's Burgess. Burgess plays it shorter. Akunda a little bit flat-footed too. New Zealand look and break, and Sarpreet Singh is just dragged from the collar and looks to the referee. doesn't signal a yellow card. Not allowed to do that, Fred, but his body language was saying, give Connor Metcalf a card, and the referee has, because that was utterly professional. New Zealand no chance to counter.
Yeah, and the first patch of sort of positive possession right near the New Zealand penalty area by the Australians there. You know, just nice patient sort of probing from one side to the other, but the final pass that where they gave the ball away, very poor, just a sloppy piece of play, and eventually Metcalf picks up a yellow card.
24 and a half minutes gone, no score on the night between New Zealand and Australia as Ben Old running down a Ben Old alley, which he loves an unfair fight, doesn't he? He's not shy. He tries to take on two, skinned one, couldn't get past the second. In fact, nutmeg.
Lovely nutmeg there in the middle there.
Izzo drills the ball onto the chest of Rolls. That was nicely judged. Rolls brings it down, rolls it back to Burgess. Burgess sees no way forward, has to give it back to the number 12 and goalkeeper.
Neuer-like almost, that last one.
Steady on, son. Let's not get carried away. Manuel, with his 520 plus games in the Bundesliga, he goes all right. Here's a nice ball in behind. I like the idea from Metcalf. Irakunda, though, is just out-muscle 2 against 1. There's a coming together to Freeze, and Irakunda's just run into the New Zealand left fullback. But Metcalf's probably been the brightest of the Australians.
Yeah, Metcalf, in an attacking sense, Metcalf Toure, has shown a couple of glimpses. Still waiting to see something from Irakunda. We saw there potential. If the pass had been better, I think he could have given Sermon a run for his money, because he is quick, Irakunda, and I think Sermon's he's got to be very careful that he doesn't give him a yard head start.
Here's Wood chesting it down top of the area. Sarpreet Singh rolls one defender, can't get past the other, just shy of that penalty spot. Cleared out, but danger not completely cleared as Bell now 30 yards from goal, right in the central position. No way forward as all the Australians are either in line with them or closer to the Australian goal. So he has to go back in triangles between he, Sermon and Bindon. Now De Vries gets a touch, looking for Old. Chikati, the Australian skipper, across, pushing it out over the sideline. New Zealand can have a throw left-hand side of the park, maybe 2 or 3 yards back from the top of the area. De Vries doesn't go long. Goes back to Bindon. Nice pass by Thomas. Old Sarpreet Singh Wood, first time touch on the penalty spot. Tried to side foot it, couldn't get the pace to get it past Izzo. First real shot in anger on goal, and it comes from the New Zealanders. It remains 0-0.
Lovely move from the All Whites there. One touch passing, just passed right through the heart of that Aussie defence. And as you say, Chris Wood had to open his right foot right up. Ball coming in from the left flank. Along the ground, but just had to try and angle his shot into the corners. And as we've seen, Izzo, not great with his feet, awesome with his hands.
Lovely football, as Fred de Jong accurately points out. What was that, 4 one-touch passes in a row? Hard to paint the picture to our audience. Hope you're enjoying our coverage here on Sport Nation, the second game of the Soccer Ashes. Follow the momentum, pick up the swings with in-game betting and Betcha, New Zealand's #1 app for football betting. R18, please bet responsibly. 1-0 it remains in favour of Australia on aggregate. 0-0 on the night. Here's some space. Kai Rolls right in front of Alex Chapman has some space, but decides to go back, and Australia can build from the halfway line. Wood putting pressure on Ballard. Now to the feet of Irakunda on the halfway line. Pings it to Diggity. To his right, Chikati. Miller now, 40 yards to go into the feet of Metcalf. Oh, back towards the halfway line. Poor lateral pass. Wood got a toe on it and then just collects. Tries to play into the feet of a charging Ben Old, but too quick for him to collect on the run. and through to Izzo once more.
And again, we see the sloppiness of the Australian passing. You know, for a side ranked as high as they are, you don't expect that. And I think that really is a case of a lot of debutants in this window for Australia. Lovely. And they're really trying to find their feet.
Lovely layoff by Chris Wood, had his back to goal, found an advancing Sarpreet Singh, who drives to the edge of the area, is pushed out towards the corner. It's out on the far side of the field. Don't think for a corner, indeed, it's going to be a throw into the New Zealanders. We approach the half an hour mark. No score at Media Mount Smart.
3.20 Australia, $3 New Zealand, still $2.50 for the draw here, boys. New Zealand dominating this left-hand side despite all the action being on the right-hand side. De Vries has been screaming out for the ball a couple of times in the last couple of minutes.
It's going to be a long throw from the aforementioned De Vries, plenty inside the 6-yard area. It's to the front of it, sliding off an Australian head. Irukunda shows good strength to hold off Elijah Just. Not that difficult. Just is not the largest, you would say. Irukunda, powerful upper body, holds him off. It's going to be one back though by the Kiwis, and again here's De Vries trying to gallop past Miller, but Miller's too canny. Good body position. Sees ball ushered out over the sideline. Oh, it's a terrible effort for the Australians. It's just ball thrown straight to his feet. He turns again on a 45-degree angle from about 14 yards out. Strikes it. Eganek though desperately across. Gets the deflection, and now Australia look to counter. Ture running from in to out again, but across comes Sermon. Takes no chances. Pushes it out. 30 yards from the New Zealand goal.
Yeah, players slipping over. Australians slipping over in their own box. And the ball falls to Eli Just, but his shot blocked. Just committing football suicide at the moment, the Australians, trying to play out in their own penalty area, in their own 6-yard box at times. And players not able to keep their feet, the passes going astray. New Zealand putting pressure on, but just at the moment, it's New Zealand looking much more likely.
As Miller on the far side of the field is sent tumbling, a very robust challenge between he and Ryan Thomas, and I think he's sort of been caught, and then the momentum sort of took him to Thomas's leg, and he's almost cartwheeled over the top in a heavy landing, and he's back on his knees and elbows, so I don't think it's too serious, but a real stinger. As we approach 32 minutes, no score between New Zealand and Australia.
The wind has slightly picked up the last couple of minutes as well, boys. Still favouring the All Whites.
All Whites running from left to right as we look at it on the western side of the ground. We're in all white with trimmed down the sleeves. Australia wearing, there's a bit of controversy in the commentary, but everything's dark grey. My eyes.
It's green.
Is it?
It's green and gold.
No, it's black.
You're mad. It's black. Here's a delivery. It's a brilliant one with an even better save from Max Crocombe. There you have it, Australia sleepwalking the way through the opening 33 minutes. Then a delightful ball in right-hand side. Rolls it was, towering header at the back post, but Crocombe's big right hand, brilliant.
Unbelievable save, that one from Max Crocombe. He had to lean back to pull it out right on the goal line. Great save. Got himself across. First real chance for Australia, and they draw the best save of the night.
Get it in the mixer, right, Fred. Delicious delivery. I think it was Miller. So one fullback to the other. Well, coaches love that. Their fullbacks link up. It was a good header, but what to say? It was almost behind Crocombe.
Yeah. The only thing could have done better with the header was headed down, and I think that would have then the ball would have been in the back of the net.
Then he would have needed a Gordon Bank save.
Yeah.
But the miracle is a little bit untidy as Justin Payne don't link up cleanly, and it's going to be a throw to the Australians inside their own half. Nearly 34 gone. Lifted up, looking for Metcalf. He can turn. He's in behind the New Zealanders. Slides it in behind, looking for Toure. He's in. He shoots. He scores. Devastating attack by the Australians. And Mohamed Toure makes New Zealand pay. Brilliant goal. His first for the Australians. And they lead on the night by 1-0. 34 minutes played.
Two beautiful passes in this move. They had the ball in their left back position, the Australians, and the ball got dinked over two New Zealand players into a midfield. I think one of the Kiwis got a toe on the ball and just sat it down for Metcalf, and then Metcalf just threads the ball in behind Toure with too much pace, and that's the danger with the two New Zealand centre backs, that the pace of these Australian strikers can undo them, and it's exactly what we saw from Mohamed Toure there. Got him behind, and as we saw, Chris Wood missed an opportunity exactly the same on Friday. Mohamed Toure makes no mistake, and Australia take what you would say is a very unexpected lead.
Yeah, really nice, and unlike Wood, who went to the left of the keeper as he looked at it, he slid it to the right-hand side. In fact, there's less separation between the attacker and the defender. You can almost feel him breathing down his neck. Really cool, calm, collected finish. But what that Metcalf again, pocket of space behind the New Zealand midfielders, expertly weighted.
I mean, for New Zealand, I thought they'd done really well in the press. They had them boxed in this little corner in the left back position for Australia, but they managed to pick a pass over the top of a couple of midfielders, and Metcalf picks the ball up basically on the edge of the centre circle in his own half, slides the ball through, two passes, and the ball's in the back of the net.
So New Zealand will have to score at least twice if they are to stay in with a chance of winning the Soccer Ashes. That is something.
Maybe we don't have to smoke some cigars.
That is something they have not done for what I would think approaching 600 minutes of international football against Australia. A long time ago. 5 full games, and it was Chris Killen in the 16th minute back in 2010. Here's Rukunda brought down as the two number 14s come together. Bindon grabs the ball up, pleads his case. Sermon, in fact, but he's not going to get any joy. It will be a free kick in a dangerous area, 5 or 6 metres to the left, the top of the penalty area.
Again, that pace of Australia, guys. Sermon and Bindon have been dealing with them, but that was because of the physicality. And again, we just saw it there. Bindon's having to deal with Yakunda, with Toure by being physical. Toure was your favourite as meantime goal scorer at Betcha at $3 before the game. If you're having a bet, we do have in-game betting with Betcha. R18, please bet responsibly, as Yakunda gets ready to take free kick. Metcalf standing alongside him.
Yeah, so you got the right-footed, left-footed option. Line of white protecting what? Across the penalty area in line with the penalty spot. Delivered, headed away, top of the area. Shot through a number of legs. Crocombe, I don't think, saw it until very late, but luckily for him it was well wide of the right post he was protecting, and a goal kick to New Zealand. 38 minutes have been played. New Zealand 0, Australia 1 on the night. Australia up by 2 on aggregate. Wood looking to chest the ball down, but picked away, and now it's at Toure, midway penalty area and centre circle. Turns, sees his right and finds Miller. Miller can deliver again. He brings the top of the area, finding Ballard. Ballard's first time half volley attempt skied, and that's better, more incisive, confidence growing the Australians.
Yeah, looking more assured straight away from the goal. Obviously taking a lot of confidence by taking the lead. The Australians, and now it's important for New Zealand just to get back to what they were doing earlier in the first 10 minutes. Just they had the Australian team on the ropes, and now they need to keep possession. Oh, lovely turn.
Yeah, indeed. That is Sarpreet Singh, left-hand side of the field, bombing up towards the area, and it's off the crossbar and headed, and ball saved by Izzo. Falling to his left, outstretched right hand, and he's palmed it. The palm of Izzo has flicked it up and over the crossbar. The original ball in from Singh has hit an Australian player on shore, gone off the crossbar, and Bell was following up. What a moment, and how on earth that has stayed out. I don't know, Fred, you tell me.
Yeah, Sarpreet bombs down the wing, hits a shoulder of one of the Australians off the underside of the bar. I think it's Tim Payne.
It is.
With the header, bounces his header down, and then Izzo just thrust out a right hand, and how he flicked that up over the crossbar, I don't know.
From the corner, it's delivered to the top of the area where unfortunately Ryan Thomas is in space, Ben Old in fact, and he's dragged it with his weaker right foot away, and Darren Baisley, he's giving it the old teapot on the sideline, hands on hips. He can't quite believe it.
That was allowed to happen though, guys, because New Zealand had, by conceding the goal, allowed Australia to press up. Urakunda and Torre were right on the edge of the box that allowed New Zealand to counter-attack. They just need to be finishing. That we've been talking about already in the last 40 minutes.
Wood goes up, headed away by Diganek. Stepping in, Thomas loses his balance, but that's because Metcalf has fouled him according to our referee. Right at the base of the centre circle, Australia's side of halfway. Thomas trying to draw contact. Irakunda obliges, stays down. Does Thomas, he's back on his feet. Irakunda now goes to the referee and asks, what's that about? Free kick to New Zealand, about 15 in from that right hand side, in line, almost the edge of the area, but only about 10 or 12 yards inside the Australian half. So Australia will defend about 5 yards outside, top of the area. The black wall.
Green.
We really need the Dulux colour chart here. You heard of democracy, Fred?
Dark.
2-1.
Green.
Delivered to the penalty spot. Headed away by Diganek, but out to the right-hand side as he looks at it. Picked up by DeVries. He plays into the feet of Sarpreet Singh. Back to goal now. Drops his shoulder. Gets to the byline. Whips it across, but too strong. Right across the base of the goal. And the Australians maybe look to counter-attack, but well done by Payne. Closing down Irakunda quickly. 41 and a half minutes gone. New Zealand, Australia 1 on the night, and they're up by 2 goals as far as the Soccer Ashes is concerned.
Yeah, just going back to the opportunity for Tim Payne, he's the ball's come off the underside of the bar and bounced up to him, and he's had to get it past Izzo. I think he's got to head the ball and basically bounce it on the goal line, except he's just he's one of those ones where he's bounced it in just in front of him, and it's popped up, and it's allowed Izzo to get a hand on it. I think a slightly better header, and New Zealand were back in the contest at 1-1.
Just making a darting run with Thomas looking to get him behind. The ball's floated. Second ball's won by Old. Drives to the left edge of the area outside him. DeVries trying to bend it in towards Chris Wood. He is well looked after. 2 players around him. Payne tries to step in, keep it inside the area, cleared away. Payne goes down under challenge. Payne wins the free kick. 30 yards from goal.
I think that's a good example of where New Zealand have to become more multi-dimensional. The ball was out wide with Francis DeVries, and you knew the cross was coming, and the defenders knew the cross was coming. So what do? They just look around, see where Chris Wood is, and then go and stand next to him. And he's battling around 3 Aussie defenders to try and get to that cross, and there's no one else in the box. And I think that's the better opportunities New Zealand has had have been where they've played the ball around, either got it into the area with that one-touch movement we saw. But yeah, it has to be a bit more variety.
Here's Sarpreet Singh, very audacious attempt from 30-35 yards out. I've seen him do it in the past. But this one he's got well underneath it and sends it high over the bar. And after 53 and a half minutes remains New Zealand 0, Australia 1.
It'll also be interesting, as Chappie said down on the sideline, what impact the wind's going to have in the second half.
They're slightly eased in the last 5 minutes, Fred, but there could have been another goal on top of that goal and it still wouldn't have gone in. So Brixton got under it that much.
So the opening 15 minutes clearly in favour of New Zealand. The last half an hour, it's been seesawing. Australia, after an untidy opening, especially in possession, has shown real glimmers of quality. Lovely goal by Mohamed Toure. Two beautiful passes, one from the left fullback and then Metcalf would spin in the centre circle, look forward, played it in behind the New Zealand centre halves, and Toure's blazing speed and then coolness of head to roll the ball past the oncoming Max Crocombe. The deciding moment of this game is losing. New Zealanders came out, despite all their huffing and puffing, have not been able to find a way to breach. And yeah, I've at times been very harsh on Paul Izzo for his
distribution.
Yeah, thank you, Fred. I didn't want to dig a bigger hole, but he has been superb when called upon.
Unbelievable.
And it was hard to paint the picture accurately, that great chance, but it was. As you heard Fred in commentary, it's a lovely sort of turn, and Sarpreet Singh goes bursting down the left-hand side, and he's about 10 yards out just to the edge of the area, left-hand side, whips it in, and I think it's at the shoulder of a retreating Aidan O'Neill, and that's deflected onto the underside of the bar and then bounced away sort of on maybe a 40-degree angle out to the advancing Tim Payne, who's gone up, but headed it down into the ground, and it just bounced a little bit slowly, and Izzo able to react, come across to his left. The palm of Izzo, what a moment that was. Well, Mo Touré's brilliant finish after splendid pass from Connor Metcalf, who I think's been the most enterprising as far as ball at feet, looking upfield and being assertive with his passing. That's what the difference is on the night. New Zealand is struggling to score one goal. It's taken 569 minutes. Here's Izzo out of there. That's calm and cool off the chest. But then he tries it under control and slices it with the left foot. It's quite bizarre. Anyway, 40 seconds into the second half. New Zealand now running from right to left as we look at it. Still wearing all white, of course. Australian definite black, Fred. Have the lead and will invite New Zealand on. You would think no changes to either side at the half. Who's impressed you, Fred, over the course of the opening 45?
Oh, I think Metcalf's been the pick of the midfielders, definitely, for Australia. Set up the goal and has been pretty confident on the ball, where other players have been falling around and passes going astray. He's been probably the most consistent performer in the Australian team. Toure and Irankunda, to a lesser degree, have looked sharp. You've seen time and time again, they've threatened to run in behind, checked off, got the ball, and then turned and run at the New Zealand defenders. So they're sharp. How long they can last in this game, probably pretty similar to Chris Wood, in that around the hour mark there'll be a raft of changes. One thing from the New Zealand side, they are, when they have possession in these sort of areas, which is just coming over the halfway line, they are very static up front, and I think that's the downside for New Zealand, and that's probably a major reason why they don't score enough goals.
Is Old not giving up a lost cause, it seemed, as Justin played the ball in towards Wood, slid out towards the goal line. He's won it back. It's forced back over the halfway line by the Australians. Crocombe, diagonal, spraying a 40-yard pass. Lovely control from Old, brings it down. Got DeFries to his left, is going to lay it off. DeFries wants someone to come back, and it's then played down the line brilliantly by Thomas. Here's Old, delivery towards the 6-yard box in front of Wood, headed out. Thomas hooks it onto his left, shoots! Good parry save, low into his right. Wood trying to get onto the loose ball, 8 yards out, back to Izzo. He sends it upfield. Paul Izzo is the bizzo in this series, isn't he? Just 3 minutes into the second half, it remains New Zealand 0. Australia 1 on the night, 2-0 up on aggregate, the Aussies.
Yeah, back-to-back shots for the New Zealand team there. And Izzo at full stretch again. Another good save from him. He's doing his chances of booking a seat to the World Cup no harm in this Trans-Tasman series. It's been very, very good.
He might need a seat with extra leg room though, Fred, because the way he goes, he might stub a toe or something. At the half, 6 shots each, 2 on target, 6 fouls each, 1 yellow card each, 52-48% possession. The most important stat is, here's Irankunda flying down the left-hand side, and it's going to be a corner. Sliding across was Binder, nicely challenged. Great athleticism. In fact, it was Mo Toure, wasn't it? As he drifted out to the left flank. It's just getting a repeat of Thomas. He did very well to hook the ball away from a challenge onto his left foot at the top of the area. It's a comfortable enough height for Izzo. Still carried it down hard and into the ground. Bounced it away. So left wing corner for the Aussies. Right-footed in-swinger. Disturbing lack of grappling inside the area. Don't they know it's 2025? Ball's played in towards the near post. Headed up and away. Here's the dangerous Metcalf on the pirouette. Tries to smash it, but straight into the chest of a New Zealander. The ball goes away. Australia will come again. Right-hand side of the park. Giacatti and a glancing header. That would have been delicious if it went in off the head of Mo Toure. No real power. Crocombe takes comfortably. It remains New Zealand 0, Australia 1.
Just looking back to that opportunity they had with Toure bursting down the left flank just to win that corner and that little sort of series of attacking moments for Australia. The difference between when Toure got the ball wide and was running at the New Zealand defender, there were 3 black shirts just bombing into the box, absolutely busting a gut to get into the penalty area. And I think it's that desperation to get forward that is a real difference between these two sides.
Toure now in the right wing position, popping up in all sorts of uncomfortable positions. He was in behind. De Vries his ball back into the penalty area, cut away. He's on it again, and he sort of scuffs his first time cross. Cleared up and away by bending up toward the halfway line. Giacatti, the Australian skipper, quickly pays it forward. Nicely out-rotated. Here's Miller, dink pass into the edge of the New Zealand area. Across comes Old, loses possession. In fact, it was Thomas, but it was last touch by Aidan O'Neill, and that's out for a New Zealand goal kick. 6 minutes into the second half, and the New Zealand subs are the Australian subs asked to get off the bench. New Zealand subs are already off the bench, away to the left-hand side of Alex Chapman down in front of us. Old making a run down the left wing side, but across comes Megadeth and says, not having any of you, Ben. His possession, untidy ball out of defence for the first time by the Australian back line. Not the most accurate passing team out of the back, but luckily for them, no harm, no foul. Quick free kick taken to the middle of the park. Irakunda on the left-hand side of the area. Step overs. He sees his opposite number, Sermon, go to ground, and that's very good defending from the New Zealand number 14.
Yeah, didn't buy the step over. Finn Sermon just let him do his tricks. Just kept his eye on the ball. Don't worry about the flashing feet. Just watch the ball all the way in, and then eventually it was Irakunda who actually ran the ball over the goal line for a goal kick.
Crocombe goes long, looking for Chris Woods. Gives a little nudge to Diganette, lucky not to give away a free kick. It's still with the Australians as Burgess off balance, as boots it forward back over the halfway line. Back to the New Zealand central defender, who lays it off to De Vries. Touch tight on this left-hand sideline, plays it down to the line. Old lays it off, ball played up towards Wood, but sloppy. Thomas just away. Counter press from Sarpreet Singh, trying to get to the loose ball. Played back to Izzo. Izzo again.
Picks out Tim Payne, what a ball.
It is. Love to see his passing accuracy. Here's Bell. Changing the point of the attack, finding De Vries, who's a pocket of space right on the left-hand sideline. Can't wrap his foot around it, so it goes straight up. Ward out-muscled, outnumbered, headed away by the Australians. And look, Irakunda just bursts off. He sets off field, and it's found by O'Neill. Lovely raking ball. Toure now on the left-hand side, speeding forward. Can Irakunda hook up with them? De Vries gets back. He's still going. And he had no right to finish it, and he has. They have punched New Zealand square on the nose again. And it's New Zealand 0, Australia 2. And the Soccer Ashes are returning to Australia, you would think, unless there is an absolute miracle announcement.
And that, my friends, is transition. Boy, Irakunda gets the ball wide, just runs at the defence. Francis De Vries does his best to get back, actually toes the ball, I think, and then Irakunda just drops the shoulder and hooks the ball past Max Crocombe. A retreating Francis de Vries just gets a slight touch on the ball. See Bindon, but there's quick feet, and then a sliding Irankunda just hooks the ball past Crocombe into the side netting on the far side of the goal. 2-0 Australia. Beautiful, beautiful transition play.
Irakunda's second goal for the Australians. But these two New Zealand defenders there, Fred, they've got to do better. Like, full credit to the Australian number 14. It's lovely work. His fleet of foot. Bindon looked like he had him covered on the inside. De Vries is coming back. But no. The teenage flyer says, I've got something special. And there's a real sting gone out of the crowd now. Yes. 55 minutes gone.
That's the thing, Daniel. It was a 4-on-2 break. New Zealand should have had that incredibly well covered. Tyler Bindon just seemed like he was backpedaling the entire time. Irankunda, by the way, on Betcher, live betting throughout the game. He was paying $3.20 anytime goal scorer. Download the Betcher app, bet responsibly, R18. But it's just the New Zealand defence, guys, on the counter all over the place.
Yeah, needed Finn Surman to come across so Tyler Bindon can actually affect the challenge. You know, but he's waiting for Francis de Vries to get back. So he says, okay, well, I'm not going to challenge yet. I'm going to wait. But by the time that happens, Tyler Bindon's about 6 yards.
Trying to cover space, right, Fred? He has to try and close down the runner at some stage, but if no one's coming across like Finn Surman needed to, then you're going to create that hole, as we saw there with Irankunda.
Yeah, and I mean, as soon as Irankunda gets into the New Zealand penalty area, then, you know, the danger factor just goes way up for Tyler Bindon, because he can't foul him. So probably better would have been to come out and try and affect the challenge, you know, at least outside the box.
Play resumes. We mentioned Bindon in possession, rolls it out to the snare touchline. De Vries 35 yards from goal, trying to bend it in behind it. Chris Wood, he had! Oh, Chris Wood has nipped in! And he's rolled it past his own. And maybe, just maybe, there's life. And hallelujah, New Zealand score against Australia. It's taken near on 600 minutes dating back to 2010. But Fred, it has happened. Australia, though, still in the box seat, no doubt about that. It's New Zealand 1, Australia 2 on the night. They're up 3-1 on aggregate for the home fans. Love the sight of Chris Wood scoring.
Yeah, ball across from Francis de Vries. Who was it? Degenek doesn't deal with it. It goes past, it skips past him. And Chris Wood on the far side of the defender gets a touch, controls it into his own part, and then just pokes it past Paul Izzo to break that drought. But now, can New Zealand go on with it?
Dare I say it, boys, the toe poke of another New Zealand player 23 years ago on this ground.
Yeah.
$4.20 Chris Wood was anytime goal scorer at half-time, by the way, with Bencher.
On behalf of the Ryan Nelson fan club, half volley smashed into the wall of the net.
Left foot half volley.
Predator inside the box. Joe Bell on the left-hand sideline, right on halfway. That's just engaged the fans again. 58 minutes gone, New Zealand 1, Australia 2. It's either it gives them a lift, Fred, or we start another sequence of 600 minutes dating 15 years. Which one?
It gives them a lift.
Yeah.
You watch. It'll be 2-2 soon.
Here's a ball in behind, but nicely done by Miller to get his body. But then his pass is errant. He went back in there and found Bell. Bell finds Sarpreet Singh 30 yards through goal. Rolling to his left, he's got De Vries. He plays it back. De Vries gets it out from under his feet. He can deliver. Can't get past the first man. Metcalf did well. Closed it down with pinball outside the Australian area, cushioned down by Mo Ture, and Irankunda can speed off in behind the space presented by Tim Payne, because Payne is really pushing up, so too is De Vries, and these speedy men now running sort of into those areas, and Payne comes back and rather cynically drags the Australian number 14. Lucky maybe not to draw the attention of the referee. Free kick quickly taken. New Zealand 1, Australia 2, 60 minutes. We are approaching. New Zealand again trying to press high, but that presents a bit of space for Metcalf to turn. Almost got away from Bell. Bell got ball and player quickly taken. Australia certainly playing with greater tempo in this half.
They don't mind passing to players who are marked and in really tight spaces. The Australians, some of their combination players, very nice to watch through the midfield, and this is what wasn't there in the first 20 minutes or so in the game.
Metcalf plays it off to Toure, top of the area, he skins, Sermon goes round at 3. Mo Toure, 2 on the night. I'm not sure what's better. The first was a beaut, this is A grade from the Australian. The Australian number 9 has made it 3-1 on the night.
This was beautiful play by the Australians. As we're just talking about, they've passed through the Kiwis, and then when the ball's got toe poked, I think by Irinkunda, to Toure, and he's one-on-one with Finn Sermon. And at that moment you go, this is danger. This is real danger, because off from a standing start, Toure is very, very quick, and Finn Sermon just does not have that pace. Toure drops the shoulder, knocks the ball past him, and then stabs the ball past the oncoming Crocombe, outside of the foot, into the net. And a comeback from New Zealand, very, very short-lived.
Yeah, great work, Fred. Dragging it to the left of Sermon, and then blazing past him. And just as Crocombe got to the top of his 6-yard box, right on the corner of it, he slid it underneath the advancing New Zealand keeper, Mo Toure. Get used to seeing him, the heart of the Australian attack, I'm sure their fans are saying. His first 2 international goals. Speed kills.
Can't coach it.
Here's Metcalf sliding it into Toure, top of the area. Now he slides it into Miller, the lining up from fourth, and they've got it. And Mo Toure has a hat-trick. New Zealand all at sea, and the Australians are cutting them to utter shreds. Shredded. And it's now New Zealand 1, Australia 4. Where has this been from the Aussies? Absolutely scintillating.
This is a top quality side playing top quality football. Just one touch passing. New Zealand can't live with it. And exactly the sort of movement that we would like to see from the New Zealand team, we've just witnessed from an Australian side at the top of their game. You know, the ball gets played wide. Who's that on the right there? Just gets in behind the defence. Miller, gets in behind the defence, looks up. As we saw on Friday night, Tim Payne in the same position finds the keeper.
Offside?
Miller
Was he offside?
finds a teammate, and the ball's tapped home. There might be a lifeline here for
something here.
the Australians. Offside, VAR check.
Pretty obvious.
Boy. It's an eyelash.
It was the third replay before I was, that might be offside. It was close. Gee, it's good though. Even this one-eyed New Zealander can appreciate the football we've seen. There's strong challenge at the back of Chris Wood by Chikati. That's the Australian defender, Chikati. That's how we defend it, Pub.
It's New Zealand versus Aussie. Come on. When you're playing in this game, this was blood and guts.
It's number 3, Lewis.
The first sub of the evening, boys. Boss and Miller will switch, and then coming from the Aussies as well. Yazbek is replacing Ballard.
Just what you want to see. Jordan Boss coming on. Absolute flyer up and down that left-hand side. He's on. So too is Patrick Yazbek in for his 4th international. 23-year-old who sits defensive duo alongside Aidan O'Neill. Every touch Irakunda and Ture have, you just see them growing in stature and confidence. They want the ball, they're presenting for the ball. New Zealand need to remain on their toes. Got out of jail, although they might be in trouble here. Poor ball from Binder. Now, it's going to be Jordan Boss is lining up on the right-hand side. Going to keep Kai Rolls on the left. Very well advanced Boss, sort of in a right wing position. Here is Rolls. Rolls it down the left wing side. Irakunda drawing out Sermon. Pocket of space for Rolls to run into. But Irakunda's tracked back. Marking all the way back into a central midfield position. Lays it off now. Here is the new man. Yazbek rolls it out to his central midfield partner. Poor though by O'Neill. Here's Beno. Sprints off. Looking for Chris Wood. But credit the new man Yazbek. He did get back. Chikati there too. Dashing the ball away from Chris Wood. Played to Burgess. Burgess draws in Sarpreet Singh. Then flicks it over his foot. Laxley across the penalty area. But it's then hoofed upfield, and once more in between the New Zealand midfielders and in front of the central defenders is completely Metcalf, of course. How could I forget Metcalf? He's been fabulous tonight. Now to his right, here's Boss. Couple of step overs as he drives towards the edge of the area. Put in by Old, but collected once more by Australia. They'll continue to probe down this right-hand side. Metcalf's drifted right out to the flank. Left foot rolls it in towards the feet of Ture. Stepping in front was Binder. Back into the centre circle where Australia will collect. We've had 66 minutes of play. It's Australia up by 4-1 on aggregate on the night. They're up by 3-1. They've had a fourth scratched out for offside after VAR review. They've been scintillating at times in the second half. Hasn't seen much of an even contest in this half. And here's Ture. They're backing off him. Gee, they look spooked by him. They all stood back inside the area he was at the top of and dragged it right across the face of goal. You'll be frustrated with that. And here comes a whole host of changes in front of Alex Chapman for the All
Four
Blacks.
of them. In fact, Daniel Rogerson, Elliott, McCowett and Ranzel all coming on. You can hear from that crowd who's leaving the field. Chris Woods is leaving the field. Ryan Thomas is off as well. So too is by the looks of it Ken Old. Just waiting to see who this fourth change is going to be. The three for now.
Thanks, Chappie. Our coverage with Venture, the New Zealand covers someone at the betting in New Zealand now with a range of new markets like cards, corners, raw combos, R18. Please bet responsibly. So Chris Wood takes his seat, and we don't know. It might be for this World Cup cycle. Who knows what happens after World Cup cycles? But New Zealand right now have no further fixtures locked in.
Could be the last time on New Zealand soil.
Boys.
Thanks, Chappie. You've got to acknowledge it. At least he got a goal for his own fans. So, lots of changes. Let's see if the game can maintain its cut and thrust and enterprising football. It's been some good moments for the All Whites in attack. Nowhere near the quality of Australia. I can't quite believe the gulf between the three halves of football until this one from Australia as far as their calibre of attack. It's seduced the All Whites to thinking that they are slow, they're static, they're anything but.
You can see that just the crispness of the passing is so difficult. New Zealand just can't get near the Australian players at times, you know, and so I think that's the way I think Tony Popovich wants his side to play. When they don't have the ball, just be really solid at the back, be really structured, and protect your goal obviously at all costs. But when you do have the ball and you can work your way forward, then through crisp passing will open up the opposition.
Elliott gets him behind, right on the edge of the Australian area. Drop off. New Zealand continue to probe. McCowett on. Out the feet of Joe Bell, 35 yards from goal. He wants to play forward into the feet of Sarpreet Singh. He can't quite turn like Metcalf has done often in that pocket in front of the back line, so New Zealand lose possession. It also looks to me, for a slight change of formation from the Aussies, it was sort of a player either side of Ture, but Irakunda and Ture are very much playing as the two, aren't they?
Yes.
And trying to speed him behind fullback and centre half, trying to stretch that New Zealand defensive line, knowing that they've got to push things. And Popovic has got to bang on this half, and while Metcalf has been excellent, simply excellent. Getting in
He might
front
be
of his...
pressing a bit higher as well, Daniel.
Yeah, without question. Now, in their defence, they'll go to that 5-2-3 sort of shape. Ball played left wing side, looking for De Vries, who's taken quite a blow on the left shoulder. So too Boss has stayed down. I think he's okay. He's starting to move around the Australian medicos quickly off the dugout, sprinting down. Long throw coming. De Vries. We've hit 70 minutes. It's Australia 1. Sorry, New Zealand 1, Australia 3 on the night, 4-1 up on aggregate. There's two inside the 6-yard box at the near post. The two New Zealand centre halves. They'll look to flick it on. Another 4 sort of from penalty spot towards back post. And the throw, little under delivered by De Vries. Sort of greasy ball, looked like it slipped out of his hand. It's a steady challenge, and it might be a poor one. And we've got a red card. Bindon has gone in. It must have been a race foot. Studs must have been up. There was a desperate lunge on Irakunda, who got there early. We'll have to check the replay, but Bindon is sent off. Paisley and others off the bench. There's some screaming between the Australian bench and the New Zealanders. Martin Boyle, he's not happy. My first inclination, it was clearly late, but no idea if he's caught him high, and Fred, that's what I'm suspecting.
Yeah, referee right there, and he had no hesitation. He's just gone to his pocket, pulled out a red card. Tyler Bindon got to go, and all kicking off from the two benches. Darren Paisley and Jonathan Gould having a go at the fourth official. Tony Popovic having a go at the New Zealand bench.
Wish I could offer you some more information as far as the replay. I've not seen anything. Our replay screen and our commentary position's not working as it has the whole evening. I'm relying on the big screen inside the arena.
I think they're checking this just to see if it's a clear and obvious error.
It's got to be foot raised, right? He's late. There's no doubt about that.
It's just whether he catches him with his studs. And I think this could be a reprieve for Bindon if he hasn't.
Certainly dived in. Irakunda looks okay. Irakunda's still on the ground, but he's up. He's setting hands on the ground. He looks like he's going to be okay. And what if I'm Motura and off? I could get 3 or 4 more the way this is going. It really is unravelled defensively from a New Zealand perspective.
It certainly has, and I think the quality of the play, of the Australian play, has just gone up a level in the second half, and they've really cut New Zealand to ribbons.
Well, the ref's coming to the sideline. He's coming to check, which generally means
good news for Bindon.
Looks like he's not going to be binned. The referee will come check the VAR monitor on this near touchline. We'll check, but he's had a word from up on high that he needs to go and have a look. Bindon shown a straight red, clear foul, no doubt about that, but it's had to have been, was the foot raised? Obviously not. Paisley still pretty furious with the Australians and their reaction. Boyle, I don't know what Boyle was doing, crossing the halfway line, almost getting into the nose of the New Zealand technical area.
I think he's just about to come on.
He's stripped, he's ready to go.
He's ready to come on, and he thought, while I'm here.
Chris Wood's got a pretty good view of the VAR on one of the boys, and I just saw him shake his head. So, as far as the New Zealand skipper's concerned, it's not a red card.
Can you go have a look? I'd love for this facility to provide a replay. So the red card's going to be rescinded. It's going to be a yellow card for Bindon. And all 38 other referees I've seen on the field can sit down. New Zealand 1, Australia 3 it remains. Boyle, blood boiling, is going to come in. He's going to replace... No, don't do it to Mo Toure. Don't do it to Mohamed Toure. He's got a hat-trick. We thought he had a hat-trick. It was scratched off. But what a performance. The pace, the natural physical attributes. But I just love the level-headedness and the decision-making in there too. Fred, what a performance. Big embrace. Tony Popovic style. We almost got a replay of the red card.
Darren Baisley is still blowing up.
Not sure why. It was a foul.
Yeah, no doubt it was a foul. Clear yellow card. It was the severity of the contact. Another illustration of how poorly served fans are inside football venues, isn't it, Fred?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, anything of any controversy and you don't get to see it. They cut to just a still graphic or they cut to a wide shot on the big screen. Well, why should the people who pay the money at the stadium be the people who see the least?
Yep. And it's a legitimate argument. Like, why do I go when I get argue with better product at home? Listening to Sport Nation, that is. The Soccer Ashes with Betcha. Betcha giving you $100 bonus cash when you deposit 25 or more. Sign up for Betcha today, R18. Please bet responsibly. New Zealand 1, Australia 3 on the night. Almost 76 minutes gone. Daniel McCarty alongside Fred de Jong and sideliners Alex Chapman. Australia up by 1-0 at the half. Mo Toure opened the scoring. But then it was Irankunda. Splendid second goal. After 54 minutes. Then 3 minutes later, Chris Wood pulled one back. And then it was Toure with his second, almost had a third. And now we've got a free kick, smack bang in the middle of the field, 35 yards out. Irankunda shoots! Oh my gosh! It was nearly an absolute freakish goal that has hit the underside of the bar and stayed out. Holy cow! Irankunda! He's got a foot like a traction engine.
That is a free kick. Hit the crossbar and the post at the same time and went right across the bounce down just outside the goal line, across the face of goal. Boy, you can't get much closer than that without the ball going into the net. What a free kick.
This second half has been, 30 minutes of highlights. It's just been brilliant. The Australians are pushing high now, harrowing. And New Zealand look rattled. Luckily, Boss can't control it. Out over the goal line. Dead ball. So, goal kick to New Zealand.
And now it's Australia's turn to really put the acid on. They're pressing really high, forcing New Zealand to rush their passes.
Here's Bell.
New Zealand do well to play their way out of that and switch play.
Just back to goal. He's very much been on the periphery of this game. Haven't seen a lot of him. He's in his own half. Finds Bell. Rides the challenge of Irankunda. Shows good strength. Does New Zealand midfielder. Rolled out to the far touchline. And come back to the New Zealand number 6. Lays it forward to Just. Just finds Howard. Is it dropping his shoulder? Getting on the outside. Outside of him, Elliott. Elliott trying to deliver to back post. Out comes Izzo, gets some fingertips on it, pushes it away, and Boss now galloping forward, gets past De Vries. De Vries slides in, gets ball in man, should go into the book. Another yellow card. 5 metres inside the New Zealand half, 5 in from that right-hand sideline. Tonight's attendance, 18,213. And boy, they will surely leave impressed from what they've seen for the visitors, particularly after a rather sleepy 30 minutes. They have woken up and rocked Go Media Mount Smart. They lead by 3-1 on the night, and up by 4-1 on aggregate.
A couple more changes as well, men. James McGarry replaces Francis de Vries. And Luke Brooks-Smith on debut, replacing Sarpreet Singh. Congratulations to that young man and his family.
Young man, that is right. Debut. I think he becomes the youngest All-White since Kerry Evans in 1980, Fred.
It's a long time.
That is a long time. Just 17 years of age. 14 games with the Wellington Phoenix and last season's A-League. 27. What a moment for him. On in jersey number 24. So,
What were you two doing at 17? Actually, you can't say that on radio.
Calculus,
Looking after
stats,
looking after
history,
me acne.
not in basically getting C's, really. Sort of drifting through life, aimlessly worrying my parents. Anything else you'd like to know, Chappie? We're into the 81st minute.
Good there.
New Zealand 1, Australia 3. He's got his first touch and he drops the shoulder and beats a man. And it's Jordan Foss and he goes forward, finds Makawa. Shouldered off at the top of the area is Luke Brooks-Smith. Jesse Randall, my apologies, is playing through the middle. Jeez, man. Just a minute, feeling a bit frazzled in the commentary position. Such has been the excitement and highlight of this second half. Here's Bell, 35 yards from goal. Plays it into the left wing channel. Randall sits off. Across comes Degeneg, who's just going to dribble out to his own corner flag. The ball's gone out over the sideline. Indeed, it has. Let's try to bring back a semblance of credibility to this broadcast. Fellas, Wood, Singh, Old, Thomas, de Vries are all off. Millen and Payne too. 6 subs have already been made and they've shifted back to a 3 at the back. Darren Baseley's not he's not going to tiptoe to the finish line now, is he? He will move aside, a little bit exposed to the back in the hunt for another goal. Brooks-Smith again, left hand sideline, drifting into his right foot. Can't find a seam to get the shot off. Drops it back to Bell. Bell, Bindon and Sermon exchange passes just on this near touchline. 30 yards from goal. Again, sort of back pedals and a little bit cautious. Now plays into the feet of Brooks-Smith. He lays it off to Bell. Bell back in position. 5 yards out from the penalty area in line with the left-hand edge of and wins a free kick. Taking him out was Aidan O'Neill. 82 minutes gone. New Zealand 1, Australia 3. Fans have hung around. Kids rolling down the bank, having a good old time at the northern end of the ground.
Again, I think
one day they'll watch the highlights and go, gee, I missed a second half, didn't I?
I think they're again a good example of how static up front the New Zealand players are as they're passing the ball in and around the opposition penalty area.
Going to be bent towards the back post. It's flicked away for a corner. Nice defensive job by the Australians as they retreated and tracked the New Zealand runners as they were running towards the back post, which was to Izzo's left as he looked at Australia made 3 changes. Touré's off, Ballard's off, Miller's off, so they could make more. And they've got 2 more strips ready to come into the action. Looks like Milanovic and Ristich. Ball back post. It's off the knee of Sermon, drifting out to the left-hand edge of the area. New Zealand go back to retreat, and they've done neatly. Collected by Logan Rogerson. Rogerson finds Bell. Bell, heavy touch back infield in Australia. It's 2-on-2. Rushing forward. Boyle holding off. Drifts it to Rakunda. Right edge of the area. Dinks it towards the back post. Got a little bit too cute. Underhit it.
Exactly.
New Zealand can clear the danger.
Exactly, mate. Too cute. Just trying to just feather that one across the penalty area.
Brooks-Smith plays it to Just. Just is going to roll it towards teammate. I thought, no, he's just going to run into a blind alley and win a free kick as he runs into O'Neill. Gee, talk about the pace of the second half. It's been blistering. 84th minute. Australia up by 2 goals on the night, 3 on aggregate. Looking to slide in Randall. Ball's played into the top of the area. Down under challenge. One of the New Zealanders has stayed down. Ball in by Elliott, under hit. Australia can clear up towards the halfway line. Irakunda muscled off by Bindon, climbing over the top, cushioning the header down to Bell. There's 5 in the New Zealand attacking line, but they're all pretty static, not much movement, and quite narrow too. Here's Just playing centrally, rolls it to the base of the centre circle. Bell in possession. Back to Just to Bell. Just
again,
Bell at the moment.
Nothing happening up front. There's no movement. No one making a run in behind to move this defensive line. This line of 5 that we've seen all night. Just 3-4 white shirts in a line, standing still, waiting for something to happen or a ball to come in. But it's you need more than that. You need movement. You need people threatening to get in behind. You need people coming short just to cast doubt in the defenders' minds. And that's what we've seen from the Australians when they've got down this end of the field.
Changes coming now. Izzo is coming off. Joe Gauchi's coming on.
Substitutions for Australia.
Okay, 5 minutes to go.
Number 12,
Paul Izzo, brilliant with his hands throughout this series.
Unbelievable with his hands. Amazing. Kept his team in both games.
Is being replaced by number 10.
Great job.
Aiden Rustic.
Got some clear work-ons, as they say in the trade. Distribution with the feet has been quite an issue. So Joe Gauchi on.
Is being replaced.
And Irakunda is
Metcalf
off.
and Irakunda off as well.
Metcalf, I thought, was best on par until, well, Toure and Irakunda probably get the headlines. Metcalf was absolutely brilliant. Drifting into pockets of space and head up, playing the ball forward. He set up the first goal, of course, in that first half, Fred. The New Zealanders couldn't get near him, finding those pockets of space. Boyle lays it off to Boss. Boss is going to carve back infield, diagonal run. He's run into trouble, though, as Just wins it. Midway penalty area halfway. New Zealand side of halfway. Rolled back by Bell to Binder. To Sermon. Here's Elliott on the right-hand side. He's been pressured, though, by Ristic quickly into his work since coming on. Crocombe, ball at his feet, gives it back to Just. 86.5 minutes gone. Australia up 3-1 on the night. New Zealand looking to grab a late consolation goal. The Ashes won't be staying in New Zealand. Bell in the left full-back position. Can carry the ball forward. Puts on the brake. Again, no one offering in that front line of 3 or 4 running in behind. Someone tries to on this occasion. That's McCowart, but ball's not played to him. He has to check his run. Elliott almost on the halfway line, trying to get away from Rolls. Gets to the outside. Offside. Surely is Randall. Play on is the call. Inside the area. Tries to pull it back towards the penalty spot, and now we will have the flag. Without question, he was about 2 yards offside. 87.5 minutes gone. It remains New Zealand 1, Australia 3. Our coverage with Betcha. Follow the momentum and pick up the swing. In-game betting on Betcha, New Zealand's #1 app for football betting. R18. Please bet responsibly.
Yeah, New Zealand trying their best to lift the tempo of the game. They're trying to keep possession, trying to move the ball around, but again, they get the ball, 30, 40 metres out from goal, and then what? They're just having difficulty with that last pass, that defence-splitting ball.
Oh, McGarry's coughed up possession, steaming onto the ball as Milanovic, and then he's brought down Binder. No, I thought Binder might go into the notebook again, but play on is the call. Just a natural coming together. Australia's attack fizzles out as ball had drifted into an offside position on this near side, the right-hand side of the Australian attack, and New Zealand through McGarry can pick up and goes long, looking for Randall. He can't get up. It's nodded down into the path of Yazbek. Yazbek finds the skipper. Chikati now finding Boss in front of him. Boyle drives into a challenge. McGarry wins. All played back into the path of McCowart. New Zealand positionless at the moment, it seems, Fred. Players all over the place.
Just all the changes and the structure of their play, or their formation has dissipated. And I think Australia now are just picking them apart with their passing. Australia happy just to keep the ball, move the ball around. They're very good at just playing the ball into spaces as players run into that space.
Just on the halfway line, rolls it to his right. Here's Elliott. Elliott looks forward again. Everyone's static in front of him. Has to come back. Cart lays it off to Sermon. Back into the New Zealand half. They'll find Binder. Binder now progresses the ball over halfway. He wants McGarry to go forward, give him an angle. Doesn't. Gives him an earful too, doesn't he? He has to roll it to his centre half partner. Just playing very deep now in midfield. New Zealand sort of waved the white flag on this attack. Give it to Crocombe. Crocombe pings the ball out. It just goes over the head of Boss, maybe leaving Brooke Smith a little bit unsighted. The 17-year-old on debut. Can't control, can't trap, and it's out for a throw-in. Midway penalty here at halfway. Number of fans now get up, start moving. 2 added minutes. How on earth are there only 2 added minutes with all of the action in this half? I will never know.
2 VAR checks in there. That's got to be 5.
Just.
But I think once again, New Zealand, as the substitutions have rolled in, the formation, the structure of New Zealand's play has lessened and it's been made easier.
Tackling Binden right on the halfway line. Carry on, Fred.
Because I think,